Our first speaker for the day, Mr. D Shivakumar is the Group Executive President of Aditya Birla Group, following a very successful stint as the Chairman and CEO of PepsiCo. Serving as CEO for over half his career, Mr. Shivakumar has also worked with brands such as Nokia and HUL in the past, personally witnessing many business transformations. He's very committed to giving back to society and is an avid football and tennis fan. Please put your hands together for Mr. D Shivakumar speaking to us today on managing everything. This session is brought to you by CAMS.
A very important topic for at least 60% of this group. I'm told that 60% of this group is small and medium enterprise. What better for an entrepreneur or a small and medium enterprise to say, I have all-rounders in my team. People who can manage anything. People who can manage customers, people who can manage supply chain, people who can manage technology, people who can manage invoicing, everything rolled into one. That's the dream employee which every single entrepreneur wants. And that's what I'm going to talk about today, to say what does it take to manage anything. If you try hard enough, you'll be good at it. So maybe the first thing is for all our employees, for us to urge them to try. And I'll come back with this word in my last slide in a different context, okay? A synonym, but try. Get people to try. If they try, they're not going to fail. They'll actually be good at something. So, 10 things I believe people display when they are good at many things. Okay, that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll summarize. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go first. The all-rounders. When people manage a lot, especially in cricket, we say all-rounders. I've been a cricket fan and I follow cricket. These guys played 435 tests, about 700 odd one-day internationals. They scored 17,000 runs in test cricket. That's about 1.7 times what Gavaskar scored. Gavaskar scored 10,132 or so. So 17,000 runs in test cricket, 11,000 runs in one day. Between the four of them, they took 1,600 test wickets and 700 one-day wickets. 1,600 test wickets is 2 Murlis, to give you a context. Now look at each of them. The only guy who was not captain, I think, was Richard Hadley. So these guys were outstanding bowlers, were outstanding batsmen, were good captains, and they moved on to many things. Imran Khan currently is now the 22nd Prime Minister of Pakistan. We don't know what the legacy will be. We will know 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Kapil Dev, apart from being captain, batsman, bowler, fielder, all of them were excellent fielders. Remember that, all four of them. Excellent fielders. Kapil Dev was also the coach of the Indian cricket team. So in an age where there are no all-rounders, these guys are truly phenomenal, that they managed so much and did so well. Okay? So that's the concept of the all-rounder. So let's take one skill across other formats. Virat Kohli, great skill in batting, outstanding in T20, outstanding in one day, outstanding in test cricket. So that is taking one skill across all three formats. Good at three formats, but with one skill. Not many people are like this. There are very few cricketers, very few batsmen in this case, who mastered all three formats. He is one of them. Let me now show you a bowler. This guy, phenomenal. Rashid, Afghanistan, one of the youngest entrants into test cricket. Phenomenal bowler in T20, in one day, as well as in test matches. He is going to be, I submit to you, he is going to be the Murli of Afghanistan. Now what does it mean to us in business? We can say, is this guy a good enough CEO for a small company, medium company, or a large company? There are some guys who will be good in all three types of companies. So we are always looking to see whether the capability of the person is fit enough with the size of the job or the size of the company. This is exactly an analogy that I can give you. Size as reflected in 20 overs, 50 overs, and the longer format of the game. Okay? So that's one application. Let's look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Somebody Chennai has adopted as their own son. Very good in limited overs, both 50 and 20. Great finisher. The skill he had was to finish. So if you were to take this to your business place, you want people to execute, you want people to close orders. Great finisher. Great wicket keeper and a very good captain. So in this game, he's mastered these three things very well. Let's look at the next one. Sunil Gavaskar, great batsman, absolutely no doubt. When he started as a batsman, somewhere after the first few years, he actually wrote books also, which were bestsellers. Okay? He wrote books which were bestsellers, so he showed a flair for writing, which is outside of cricket. Then he showed a flair for commentary, but on cricket. He doesn't talk of anything else. A few years ago, he was also the chairman of the IPL to run the IPL when there was a lot of problem with IPL. So when the event was held in Dubai, he also did that. Sunil Gavaskar also acted in a Marathi movie as a hero. Didn't work. It failed. Okay, he also took 2-3 other roles. I also forgot to mention, Kapil Dev also acted in a few movies. Didn't succeed. Okay, so when the domain was cricket for Gavaskar, he masters it. When he moves outside of the domain, okay, he's not done that well. He's not mastered everything. Okay, so that's Gavaskar for you. Let's look at somebody homegrown, Venkat Raghavan. This was interesting when I was doing the study for this presentation. Great bowler, okay, outstanding fielder, both in slip and short leg, if you remember the matches that we won. Okay, he was an umpire. I don't know if many of you know, he umpired in more tests than he played. He played in 53 tests, umpired I think in 77. He was the world #1 umpire. He was never the world #1 bowler. He was never the world's #1 batsman. And a great administrator. Okay? Now, this is now outside of playing, which is umpiring, which is an adjacency. But he brought the capability and skill he had as a player to being a great umpire too. Okay? So that's moving away from the adjacency now. Shastri possibly is the best example I can give you of very average talent making it very well. I don't mean it as a disrespect to him. Okay, let's go back in history. He flew down to New Zealand as bowler and batsman number 11. He would come and bowl left arm spin. After that, he inched himself up literally step by step. He came into the middle order, finally ended up opening the batting for India. Then he became a commentator, an outstanding commentator. Now he's the team's coach. Okay, who would ever have thought that Shastri could do these four well? Nobody would have thought of. But it's sheer dint of application which has got him here. Keep that in mind. Let's look at next. Anil Kumble, similar trajectory but different. Started off as a great bowler. Okay, he was a captain, one of two guys who's taken 10 wickets in an innings. Became a captain, good captain. Okay, then he became an administrator. Didn't work as an administrator. He had a run-in with the team. Now, when you are an outstanding contributor, you're very, very disciplined. If you try to bring the same thing and impose it on the team, many times it doesn't work. The skill required when you manage a team as a coach is one of influence. It's not one of persistence which you can do on your own. You have to get 16 guys to start thinking like you. A very different game. So that's Anil Kumble. Amitabh Bachchan, one of the most famous examples. Outstanding actor. Started as a negative actor in the sense that he was a villain in his first movie. Okay, from there he became one of the biggest actors ever in Bollywood. Then he entered politics in 1984, became a businessman, ran up a lot of debt, okay, was virtually bankrupt, came back from the brink, gave the money back, didn't get back into business in that sense, but invests in companies today. His turning point was KBC. I think the way Amitabh Bachchan speaks, he wants the participant to win that 1 crore. So most people feel that these are two people against the big establishment. It's an amazing skill that he's put at the table. So great in many of the things, not so good in running his business as well as being a politician. Let's look at business now. Steve Jobs. Okay, 6-7 industries he disrupted. Huge difference. I believe one of the biggest technology disruptors that we've seen. So what are the 3 things that he was outstandingly good at in my book? Understanding technology and its impact on society. He was not a coder, unlike Bill Gates. He understood technology and said, what can it do for human beings in a very simple way? That's something I believe he understood very well. Second thing he understood was design and aesthetics. If you look at the full Apple range, it always stands out, design and aesthetics. That's something else he understood exceedingly well. Okay? So, and finally, of course, he understood that how do you disrupt markets through innovation. Okay? One can truly say that across 6-7 categories, he made a huge impact. Next, Jeff Bezos. The same technology is a common thread, but the way Amazon applies it is via business models. That's the skill, That's the capability which Amazon seems to display across every single thing that they participate in. Technology and new business model. Okay? That's their strength. So they're good at it, and they've done exceedingly well across a wide range of industries. All these people, which I've shown you, they're good at more than one thing. Let me start with that. In some cases, many things. So what do these guys teach us as lessons so that we can try to be good at many things, and equally we can get our employees to start thinking like that, to be better at more than one thing. I give you 10 points. Point number 1, their habits and thought process is very different. They are not the run-of-the-mill thinkers or workers. Second, they are confident of their abilities. I give you a story about Imran Khan. The year is 2010-11. We'd called him for a speech to our annual conference for Nokia. Okay, I was sitting with him at the ante room before he came in. So we were chatting, and I asked him, what do you see your future in politics as? He said, Shiv, I'm very confident I'm going to be Prime Minister. He was expecting it far faster. I asked him why. He said, Shiv, the youth is with me. They love me. I'm going to be Prime Minister. I remember walking out of that room and saying to myself, he's got amazing confidence, and he said this in 2010-11. He became Prime Minister 7 years later. Third, they're extremely persistent. They will not give up. They're very, very persistent. If they take to something new, they'll go practice it, focus on it, diligently understand pros and cons, and do a great job. They have insight and foresight. They're able to see ahead. I gave you the examples of Steve Jobs. Able to see ahead in terms of what consumers want, whether it's music or entertainment or whatever it is. Jeff Bezos' ability to see ahead in terms of business models. What can be disrupted? They seek knowledge, learning, unlearning, relearning all the time. They're constantly doing that. They're constantly trying to understand more of the subject. Point number 6, they're willing to struggle to come to grips. Every one of the guys I've put here to you, Amitabh Bachchan went through the biggest struggle. So much so that he went back to Yash Chopra and said, give me a role, please. Point number 7, they have focus. In whatever these people have done, they have enormous focus. Famous example is Steve Jobs, and Tim Cook follows that right now. If you go for a meeting with either of these people, you start with 10, they'll say, okay, cut it down to 3 and let's discuss. And after the discussion, they'll say, go and do 1, forget the other 2. Enormous focus. Okay. In India, we need to build a lot more of that. Okay, of that ability to hone in at that point of time on what can make a huge difference. That's number 7. Number 8, they give it their 110%. Every one of us as leaders love employees who give it their 110%. Number 9, they are curious and open-minded. That's the other thing which makes them good at many things. Curious and open-minded. And my last point for you on this, they're very, very dependable. They're solid guys. They won't let you down 9 times out of 10. They won't let you down 9 times out of 10. One of the guys I didn't have here, because I just chose the very, very few ones, is Steve Waugh. Steve Waugh scored 26 centuries. I think 20 or 21 of them Australia won. Okay, so he was the ultimate in being Mr. Dependable. Even as a bowler, he would come and break partnerships when it was most needed, very much like Mudassar Nazar. Okay, so these guys are dependable. Okay, these people who are good at many things. So, is there a company where people are asked to do many things at the same time? One company is Southwest Airlines. Southwest says, our primary focus is to turn around our planes in the shortest possible time. So Southwest planes are in the air, I think 11.5 hours a day compared to everybody else at 9 hours a day. Because it's a huge asset, $100 million, $200 million. If it's not in the air, okay, it's depreciation on the ground. Okay, that's what it is. So Southwest, because of their philosophy of turning around every single plane in the fastest possible time, everybody doubles up. That's why they're consistently the most profitable airline. They consistently have extremely high engagement scores whenever they do their surveys with employees. I mentioned, work and ethic. Effort is crucial, crucial, crucial. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how important it is. Okay, it has a double impact. Whatever talent we have, if we put effort behind the talent, whatever it can be, the talent can be we have good ball skill, we have good math skill, we have good memories, whatever it is. If we put effort behind that, then we build competence in that skill. So first is recognizing what you could be good at, putting effort behind it. That gives a skill. When you practice that skill again and again and again and fine-tune it, that effort gives you success. So it's absolutely critical that as you go out, I told you right in the beginning, urge your employees to try something, to try to be good at something. That is a function of effort. When somebody gets good at something, the more effort he puts, he gets better at it. Malcolm Gladwell said this. He said, if you want to be good at something, you must put 10,000 hours behind it. That's what he said. That's effort in my book. Okay. So, talent into effort is the skill. Skill into more effort is what leads to success. That, in essence, is the paradigm, or whatever you want to call it, of being good at many things. Take one at a time, and you will be good at it. A big company is fantastic when it behaves like a small company. A small company is terrible when it behaves like a big company. Okay, and most people don't get that, right. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of my 30 minutes, thank you very much for this, and I hope that you have an outstanding session. Thank you.